amazing what you can do on Apple, isn't it? Spinning stars and everything. Okay, government regulation. Well, as I mentioned just now, you do need governments to regulate markets to a degree. Now, what's happened in the banking industry is that you had regulation in place, but the banks themselves, being hugely powerful and influential, always look to try and deregulate. And there seems to be a cycle of strong regulation, deregulation, strong regulation, deregulation. And the banks, it's in their own self-interest to ensure that regulation is as loose as possible in order to flood the market with finance. The corporate structure. Interesting. What's the goal of any corporate structure?
To maximise profit for shareholders.
Exactly. To maximise profit for shareholders. Who here likes Apple as an organisation? Oh, come on, you students. There's got to be everybody. No? Which other organisation? Which organisation would people like? McDonald's?
Google.
Sorry?
Google.
Google. Okay, everybody loves Google, right? Google is responsible to whom? Its shareholders. What's the relationship between, say, Apple and Google? It's simply that they're serving their shareholders. If Apple, and it's interesting that people think, yeah, Apple, they're one of us. You know, they come out of the left wing. You know, they're here for the common man. And then Google Docs comes along, and they've got a lot of money, and they're establishing things like Google Docs online. And everybody know about Google Docs? Yeah. Now, do you think if Apple thought that Google Docs was a good thing, that they wouldn't enter into that market, or if they thought Google had a better product, that they wouldn't promote their own as being better than theirs? Of course not. They have a responsibility to their own shareholders, so let us not be fooled. This is part of the reason why when I go into a store to buy anything, all I see is corporate profit. It's quite a sad way to live, actually. I don't see the love in anything. I just see the money men who are there to maximise profit. Well, we'll go into corporate structure a bit further. Taxation, well, a government will keep its hands out of the pot, and that's what the free market is stating, that less government is good, the least government. But ultimately, the government is responsible for certain aspects of society. In the UK, controversially, we have a national health system, which ultimately will move over to becoming privatised if the free market capitalists have their ways. But there's certain other institutions that wouldn't be. For example, the judicial system. It's one of the components of civil democratic society. So that's not really going to be, you're not going to have McDonald's sponsoring a local court. Yeah? It's not really going to happen. Right? So taxation is something that is important in the capitalist framework. It keeps the government sweet. Globalization. Okay, a bit old hand now, but capitalism needs new blood. Like a vampire. Yeah? It needs new blood all the time. Actually, forget that vampire quote, that's too emotive. Yeah? It needs new blood all the time. That's why, in the last 10 to 15 years, you've seen kind of the spread, along with the world becoming a smaller place through technology, you've seen the spread of finance as well. And actually, if you go to Dubai, if you go to Riyadh, if you go to Islamabad, if you go to any of these places, you'll find that they are treading a similar path. You'll find the same brand, you'll find the same culture as well. So globalization is an important part of it, because that provides a future for capitalism. And of course the banking system as well. So firstly, we'll look at the corporate structure. Okay, so about 150 years ago, it was created to mitigate risk. Okay, so you place your capital, you buy a share, and you'd only be liable to lose that capital and nothing more. Even if the limited liability company would incur debts, your risk would be limited to the capital that you provided that company. It also provided, an open investment opportunity. So it was quite democratic in a way. It provided people with an opportunity to invest in much larger projects. So which is why I say that how the railways were built as well. Embody self-interest. Okay, you invest in a company, why? Because you want to make money. Okay, you might like the company, but ultimately you want to make money out of it. This is an interesting one. Clinically psychopathic. I take it you probably read the book. The Corporation?
No, but I agree.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of guess. Right, what do we mean by clinically psychopathic? Well, a corporate is a legal person, right? A company is a legal person. But it's not like you and I. It doesn't really die. And ultimately, it's only responsible to its shareholders. The executives in that company are looking to maximize profit. We as a bank, we've got a whole load of money here. Should we lend money to the subprime market? Well, you know, it's not really the right thing to do. Who cares what the right thing is to do? It's not about the right thing, it's about the profitable thing. And that's the way the corporate structure works. And the reason why we've come up with clinically psychopathic, because it actually does embody each of these qualities. It is highly manipulative. Who feels manipulated by corporations? I have kids. I feel massively manipulated by corporations. You know, I said there's 3 things that you can't save your children from. Yeah? You can't save them from Barbie, you can't save them from McDonald's, yeah? And you can't save them from Manchester United either.
If you're a good parent, you can.
See, this is interesting, right? So you said that. You said that. If you're a good parent, you can, right?
No, the Man U bits.
Oh, the Man U bit. Right. Well, you think about society in general, okay? So I'm thinking, right, we've got, I've got 2 kids, one's 7, one's 5, and I'm thinking, yeah, you know, like, I'm a Liverpool fan. My boy and my girl, they'll grow up to be good Liverpool fans. And then they go to school, and they mix with the other kids, the subversives, yeah? And I live in Manchester. And he's coming home telling me about Manchester United. And although in your home you can control certain things, society in general is geared towards this. So it's manipulative, grandiose. Which company actually ever says, actually, you know what, we were wrong? Executives and organizations are always looking to present information in a way which is most appealing, which is not going to affect its shareholders. Reckless, well, I think we know organizations can be reckless. You know, BP, you know, Exxon, lovely ads, right? Oh, we're investing in renewable energy, fantastic. If you actually read about some of the projects that they leave in quite a risky state and, you know, potentially wiping out communities in, say, the Antarctic or wherever else, that really doesn't hold true. Remorseless? Yeah, they're not really, they can't really show any remorse. They can't say sorry. It just doesn't happen. And they are absolutely superficial. I mean, these days, go back 20 years, these organisations were dumping things into the sea without question. And then all of a sudden everybody's on the green tip, right? Everybody's investing in green, renewable energies. Why is that the case? It's because it's more profitable now. If you're seen to be doing the bad thing, you're not going to make money. And if you want to read more about this, there's a particular book, which I'll mention in a second. These are some quotes. I'll just read the top, well, I'll read a bit of it. The pressure is on the corporation to deliver results now. This relates to banking. Got to get the money now. Okay? And to externalize any cost that is unwary or that the unwary public will allow to externalize. That externalize is an awful way. It's a bit like collateral damage in war. It simply means if there's a cost that the corporation can simply offload onto the government or anybody else, it will look to do so. The great problem of having corporate citizens is that they aren't like the rest of us. As Baron Thurlow in England is supposed to have said, they have no soul to save, and they have no body to incarcerate. Yeah? And there's a Noam Chomsky quote up there which I won't go into. Right. Okay, this is the book that I mentioned. Again, forget the tail and the halo and all that stuff. Anybody heard of this? Okay, you've heard of this, right? It's a great read, and it is not a rant. It is not a rant. It's a highly intellectual piece. It's written in a very flowing way, and it basically outlines exactly what the corporation is. It might turn you into a bit of a skeptic like me. Be warned. Yeah. If you don't want to end up like me, you might want to give it a miss. That's also made into a film as well, so that's available on DVD.
And free on Google Video.
And free on Google Video.